The Warriors Unbound KVK is packed full of new and enriching content, and today I'm going to be discussing it the best that I can. I'll go over the new artifact system, which is just mind-boggling. I'll go over the immigration, and basically being able to join any alliance. There are so many things to discuss, and I'm going to try and keep it as simple as I can. So if you are going into a Warriors Unbound KVK, this is the video for you. Starting off, we have the new way that alliances work. So the way that alliances work now is that any alliance inside of your war camp, you can join them basically. So I am in 2365 and our main alliance is LA65. But I can join the alliances from any other kingdom. Let's say Fight Club. I could join Fight Club and I could actually go into their alliance, chat with people, talk with people. I could claim gifts from their alliance. There are so many things you can actually do. It basically makes everyone have a new alliance. And you may think that's nothing too insane, okay? That means they could just join the other alliance. All right, they can claim gifts and talk to people there. What's that going to change? Well, we know that teleporting on alliance territory is basically the way you don't get zeroed in a KVK. It's the way that they prevented cities from just being spam rallied till everyone got zeroed. And the thing is, I can join another alliance now and go in their territory without having the threat of being zeroed. We know that you can teleport anywhere on alliance territory after you get the Ruined Crusader Fortress, but the thing is, you still can get zeroed if it's not your main alliance's territory. Now I can join that alliance, so I could teleport on Vic's territory while they're fighting somewhere else, basically prevent myself from being zeroed, and I'll be safe fighting with them. It's really, really good. There have been many times in my KVK where our main alliance possibly is blocking a pass and there's not much fighting going on there, but somewhere else there's a lot of fighting, and I really want to go there, but it's a 10-minute march. I want to teleport on their territory, I'll just get rallied and zeroed. I'm not a 300 million power whale, but being able to join their alliance basically negates that issue. I could join their alliance, get on their territory, and fight with them, and keep myself safe from being zeroed. Just to prove that it does work, I'm going to join a random open alliance. So you can see right there, I've joined a random open alliance. These people are from 1890, and I can join there. I can help people, I can talk to people. You can see I go in alliance chat, I can just type a message, like let's say test. See, the message went through. I'm speaking in their alliance chat. Any gifts they get will also come through here. I can also access those. So if someone was to spend money in this alliance, I can access their alliance gifts as well. This also means, like I said, any alliance territory they own in the Lost Kingdom, which they don't own any, I could teleport on it. And that means I'd be safe from being rallied or zeroed. The next thing Lilith has added to the game is artifacts. And these are basically their version of Bastion skills, but way better. We know that a lot of other KVKs have included Bastion skills. And Bastion skills, yes, while they are pretty cool, don't change that much. Like, yeah, they give your commander basically a 5th skill, but does it really matter? That's the real question. This completely overhauls your commander's skills completely. Artifacts basically allow you to switch the troop type of your commander's skills. So let's say, for example, I chose Lancer's Banner and I put it on my CPO. It will change my CPO's skills, anything that have infantry stats, to cavalry. If I was to put Lancer's Banner on my Boudica, she'd become a cavalry commander. So it's very, very unique in the way that it works, in where I could pair two commanders that normally you definitely couldn't work together, like Zhang Yu and Artemisia as an example, and it would work. They would actually be able to fight, and you would have Artemisia's archer stats as cavalry stats. Zhang Yu's stats would not change, they would stay cavalry, and Artemisia would basically become a cavalry secondary commander. This means there are a bunch of new possible pairings, like crazy new pairings. For example, the confirmed best pair currently is probably running a Scipio Africanus with a Nevsky or a Boudica Prime. That is the assumed best pairing at the moment, because imagine changing all of Nevsky's skill stats. All his attack, all his march speed, all his health, changing his defense, his like all of these cavalry stats, just to infantry stats. He becomes an infantry commander. It's absolutely insane the way that works. Now here's an example. You can see this Richard actually has the, I guess, relic equipped on him. The Sniper's Fletch. This is the Archer stat one. This changes all stats from any other troop type to Archers. You can see his 3rd skill, which normally gives you infantry exclusive stats, becomes an Archer skill now. So my Archer units gain Archer attack and also gain Archer defense. So that's really, really interesting. Now the way you obtain these artifacts is after the Eye for an Eye Chronicle. You can see that you unlock them and you can actually purchase them for 5,000 crystals. It's very cheap, and you can only purchase one per KVK, so make your decision wisely. Quick tip for them, whichever commander you will be running as the primary, choose their troop type as the secondary commander. So let's say I want to run that Nevsky CPO that I spoke about earlier. I will choose, let's say I want CPO as primary, I will choose the infantry relic so I can make the Nevsky the secondary. That's what that means. I think that possibly Nevsky primary, Scipio secondary would be better, just because you could run cavalry units which are faster, and it would be very, very insane in that situation. Let's say you only run one troop type. You may only use infantry, you may only use cavalry, or you may only use archers. My account is a good example of that. This artifact is actually still somewhat okay. Yes, you're overall at a disadvantage because you are only running one troop type, and some other people will be able to run like a Nevsky with a Scipio, which is just going to destroy you. But here's the thing. You could take that artifact and put it into your accessory slot for a commander who didn't have an accessory. So my Nebu, for example, doesn't have an accessory and he's missing one. I can just put this artifact on there. Okay, I get 3.5% attack. Yeah, it's not insane, but I mean, it's free attack in a slot that would have been sitting empty anyways, since I don't have any accessories to craft at the moment. It's much better for younger accounts in this situation. An older account is not benefiting from this basically at all, and they're at a complete disadvantage, but most old accounts use more than one troop, unless you're a weird account like mine. One thing to note, you can only redeem one artifact per season. They only affect your Lost Kingdom, your Sunset Canyon, and your Lost Canyon. They will not be affecting your home kingdom for whatever reason. Obviously, they will not affect any other events. Then you've got your immigration. This is a new thing that Lilith has added in other KVKs before to test with it, and they've basically completely integrated it into the Warriors Unbound KVK. It's kind of making Warriors Unbound the ultimate KVK, adding all the features into one KVK, which is kind of insane. So the immigration is basically a phase after about a week and a half after your ziggurat opens. And the way it works is you can migrate to any kingdom in your KVK for a little bit cheaper. So you can see in the Warriors Unbound KVK, your immigration will last 7 days, and in those 7 days, you can immigrate to any kingdoms within the same Lost Kingdom. Doing so will cost you fewer passports than regular immigration. I guess that this is Lilith's way of combating basically people complaining about passport costs and them being so expensive and such a ripoff. And I mean, it works if you really, really just want to get out of a kingdom right away and you don't care whichever kingdom you're going to as long as they're stable. Then yes, you could do this. Like I could migrate to 1093 or 1307 if I wanted, and it would cost me less passports. But the thing is, I don't want to do that. And if I were to migrate, I'd be looking into probably a little bit more than 12 kingdoms total. Like looking into a kingdom is a lot of effort, and they aren't just something you make up along the way. Like, okay, I feel like going to an Imperium kingdom. We're in a KVK with a random Imperium. I'm going to migrate there. But if you are one of those people who doesn't actually really care at all and they'll just migrate anywhere, this is really nice for you. You're in a KVK where you get a nice reduced passport cost. I don't know the exact numbers. I presume it's like 25 to 50% reduction, where you can just go to another kingdom and basically escape any drama from your main kingdom if you so want. Or if you just want to basically get out of your main kingdom for whatever reason, you can do that here for a reduced cost. And it's really, really good if you're a free-to-play and you really, really need to leave a kingdom, because buying passports as a free-to-play is an absolute mission. You have to get permission from your kingdom to purchase them in an alliance. You have to grind individual credits. It's very annoying, and it can be very frustrating when you really, really are over a kingdom and you just want to leave. In terms of map changes, there aren't too many changes. The only major difference I've really noticed is obviously having a camp in the middle here and having a camp once again at the bottom in the middle. And then there's obviously a zone to either side of that middle camp. So they are kind of the, in some ways, screwed camp, because if they are surrounded by enemies on both sides, especially if the enemies are powerful, they're going to get zone 4 blocked basically really, really quick. Heroic Anthem is not really that bad in terms of like the way that works, where someone in Heroic Anthem, even if their kingdom is, for example, on the corners, they still have access to their own personal zone, so they're guaranteed to get to Kingsland. But if you're inside of a Warriors Unbound KVK and you get zone 4 locked, you are zone 4 locked. There's basically no chance of escape. So that's one unfortunate downside of the Middle Kingdom. However, if you are not allied with the people who share the same, basically zone 5, I guess this is, or zone 6, depending on which one you call it. If you don't ally with them, then you basically have to fight for this zone as well. So this means after your first Pass 4 opening, yeah, Pass 4 is usually just a way of fighting to like let off some steam before your Kingsland. But now when the Pass 5 opens and zone 6 or zone 5 opens, you have to fight for this zone as well. There is no just, oh well, we're here farming now for another 3 weeks. Oh, then Kingsland opens. Nope, you get in there, you're fighting. That's basically the way that most of these KVKs are structured, and that's the way ours is structured. We're going to go from zone 4 fighting to Pass 5 to this zone to fighting once again. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And then along with this, there are a bunch of backdoors. What I mean when I say that is that basically any of your allies can access the zone as well. So after this Pass 7 opens, let's say you lost the zone. If your allies are powerful enough, they could cross through their zone 6 and come into your zone 6 and push out your enemies. This can be really interesting, and for an example, if our KVK where we fight water camp, let's say we lose our zone 6, they are basically going to win the KVK, so our allies may have to come in and push them out. But the best part about this is that water's allies could also come into their zone and push us out from pushing them out. So you can see it's going to be really interesting in the way that people end up fighting. It could just be the way that we structured our KVK personally, because we have the top 3 camps allied and the bottom 3 camps allied. So we're going to fight water, fire's going to fight light, and then earth and nature are going to sit in the middle all alone for the time being. But once these middle zones open, they can push into our zone and fight us if we win against water, or support water in beating us. And the same goes for earth, and even fire could push into our zones and support us in beating water, or vice versa. So it's really interesting in the way that works, and I feel that this zone right here, the one that we are connected to, will basically be the be-all or end-all for our KVK, because whichever camp owns it is going to have one extra ally in Kingsland. That's the way that things are looking so far, and it's a very, very unique structure for a KVK. It may seem only minorly different, but these minor changes are quite insane. In terms of terrain though, like inside of the zones, it looks mostly the same in terms of mountains and stuff like that. There's nothing too crazy like massive rivers that completely go across the whole map. No extremely huge mountainous terrains. Just looks like a typical KVK map. There's nothing too crazy there. There are also what seems to be your ancient altars or your dark altars are actually inside of the zones. This means that you don't have to go from one pass to an altar of darkness. It's just inside of the zone. So this could mean that it's a 5-march murder ball battle in here instead of just the 1 march that you usually have to run. And that's going to be fairly unique as well. The other normal ruins are in your zone 4, so those are safe and not really that important. Other than that, there aren't too many changes. The structures all look the same. I don't think there are increased numbers. Possibly there is 1 extra structure in this zone, or 2 extra structures in the zone 6 because there are 2 kingdoms sharing it. But I'm pretty sure that's the same way it is in like Heroic Anthem as well. In terms of bastions, there are bastions littered throughout the map, and there is no fog on the map. So once you get in, you see everything. That's very, very convenient for the most part. I don't like clearing out fog, and being in a KVK where you can just go around, click the bastions, and just basically unlock them instantly is nice. I also, as a content creator, I really do like this, so I can spectate other people doing the KVK without sitting down for 13 hours clearing out all the fog, which is just so annoying. Some people bot it. That's against Rise of Kingdoms terms of service. I have to sit there pushing explore, explore, explore. I wish there was some type of auto scout feature, but this is a completely different tangent. I just like that there is no fog. If I entertained you, brought you some valuable information, or gave you a nice insight on the KVK, please consider subscribing to the channel as I push 1,000 subscribers by June 27th when I start my All Siege restart account. It's going to be insane, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Now, I do thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.